Hey everyone, what's up? In this video, there's going to be a lot to talk about this week. Um, Number one, I want to talk about Mick Foley and the slight possibility, of him going back to WWE. I also want to talk about Zack Ryder being used again, which, let's be honest, is pretty freaking awesome. And last but not least, thoughts on Triple H as the COO of WWE. Now, let's start with Mick Foley and WWE talks. Now, there's been a lot of rumors, speculation going on of Mick Foley and a potential new role in WWE, and a lot of people suspect it's going to be like a goodwill ambassador kind of thing, to where he might not even be under contract to WWE, but more so he's just going to do appearances for them every now and then, which has happened in the past. It's one of those things that's just not likely, but I think Mick Foley's at a point in his career to where he really does need to decide if he wants to stick with WWE or go with another company. And some guys stick with WWE, some guys don't. And it's a personal preference kind of thing, and I think if I was Mick Foley, I would stick with WWE. I mean, I'm not trying to sound biased because I'm a WWE guy, but the fact is that WWE made his career. Let's be honest. He did receive a lot of recognition before in ECW, but when he jumped to WWE, that was when he made his mark. And obviously he had the Dude Love, Cactus Jack, and Mick Foley, and Mankind gimmicks in WWE, but it's a part of paying your dues, and I think if Mick was smart, and I know he is, I would say he's going to be a WWE guy for life. And, I mean, it's hard in a way to even say that, because of how early it is technically to say it, if that makes sense, but I gotta be honest, I just see him more as a WWE guy than a TNA guy. He tried the TNA thing, he dabbled with it, and ever since he's like, but he also tried WWE as a commentator, he dabbled with it, and he's like, so, it's obviously up to Mick Foley, but I would think WWE, what they should do is re-sign him. Have him as, a mouthpiece for a wrestler who needs a mouthpiece. There's been a lot of talks about Tyson Kidd needing a manager. I know it would be an oddball combination, but give him to Mick Foley and just see what the two can come up with. Wrestling's a very give and take, and that's what a lot of people, I think, really don't realize, is that a lot of it is you need, backstage-wise and, mindset, you need to, give certain people a lot of attention, but at the same time, feel free to take some of that knowledge. So, it's up in the air with Mick. He can do what he wants, bottom line. I would think he would eventually go to WWE in some capacity. Now, also on to Zack Ryder being used again. Now this, woo. I'm sorry. Look, when Zack Ryder was on ECW, I said this to a few people, was that, he's a one-of-a-kind character that you just don't see every day. And I remember when he first debuted on ECW, he had the half-short, half-tight thing going on. And I looked at him, and I'm like, why? Why did they do that to him at first? But then on ECW, as I'm watching, he beat Tommy Dreamer, and he retired Tommy Dreamer. He beat Hurricane Helms, and was said as Hurricane Helms' last match as a superhero. And, he called himself the heart and soul superhero of ECW, and I thought it was stupid, but, when all that happened at the same time, I was kind of like, well, at least he's getting something, and he deserves it. He is a real hard worker in the ring. And now, he's on Raw, and he's also Teddy Long's assistant on SmackDown, and yeah, I'm glad that they're using him a lot more on TV, and it really is a sign that hard work does pay off. And in Zack Ryder's case, it paid off tremendously. The fact that he started his own YouTube show, and it's funny, if you guys watch Raw Monday, King couldn't even pronounce the name of the show. I thought it was funny. All it is Z True Long, and that's what he said. I'll be honest, I can barely even say the freaking name of it because it's so long. I just call it True Island Story, or True Long Island or the Zack Ryder story. I mean, anything. I mean, it's a hard name to say. I will give him that. But, I mean, the bottom line is that he works for WWE. I don't. So he should kind of be more into it than stumbling over his words like that. Obviously, WWE's not going to punish him for it. But at the same time, it's like, if I was him, I would have learned how to say it, you know? But all in all, like I said, I'm glad they're giving him something. Who knows, maybe a title run, not a major title, maybe like a mid-card title, is in the works for Zack. Who knows? And this really is amazing news for all of his internet fans, because he is the internet champion. Wow. Like, WWE needs to create a belt, have him come out with it. That's honestly what I think that they should do. But I mean, Zack Ryder, all in all, what can you say about the guy? Whoa, 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 you know it. And I'm not, like I said, I'm praising Zack Ryder a lot. But let's not cut that wire short. Is that Zack Ryder still does have some work to do in the ring, but overall, he's a very solid performer. He really is. And the fact is that the fans are behind him. Everywhere he goes. Take care, spike your hair. But so yeah, let's just hope he gets something as opposed to nothing. Or there you go, bring back Mick Foley, have him as Zack Ryder's manager. Anything, To me, it doesn't matter. Just have Ryder on TV. Mick Foley, yes and no. I mean, he could be brought back to TV, but I think only if he's used in the right capacity. Not like he's a great commentator, but WWE is known. They have the reputation of treating their announcers kind of crappy. So I can understand if Mick doesn't want to be a commentator. And last but not least, I want to talk about Triple H as the COO of WWE. Now, first off, does anyone else agree him coming out in a suit and tie just ain't happening? I mean, it worked in Evolution, in 2003 to 2005 or whenever, whatever. But the fact is that he hasn't done that since like 2005 or 2006, and it just doesn't look right. It looks awkward when he's wearing a suit. But anyway, point is that he's made a lot of appearances. Vince made a lot of appearances, obviously, but to be on 3 consecutive Raws, usually when Vince does that, it's because he's involved in the storyline. And obviously Triple H is too, and we all know Triple H hasn't fully taken over Vince's job yet. And rumors are speculating that it'll be around WrestleMania time where Vince is finishing up as COO, or at least, cutting down on his responsibilities. And that's when Triple H takes over. So hopefully Triple H, I'm not talking about the storyline COO, I guess. I'm talking more so about the real COO. And that I think Triple H will make a fine executive for the company. It's just, it's one of those things that you can't have an inmate running the asylum. That said, I don't think Triple H is that inmate running the asylum. I think more so Triple H, he's studied the game and he's learned the game. He's played the game, no pun intended. And I think now, more than ever, he's finally going to use every single inch and every single centimeter of knowledge that he's gained over the past 20 years and finally put it to use. I don't know what's up his sleeve, if and when he does take over. I just hope that he brings back wrestling. And not the over-dramatic, over-hyped storylines that we've seen for the past few years, I mean, it's a predominantly male demographic. Whether if it's little kids, little boys to grown adult males, it's generally that kind of demographic. More men watch it than women. I mean, that's just a fact. That said, let's just hope he can focus energy on pure wrestling. I mean, probably not, but, you can only hope. So, take it or leave it, I guess. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.